Hey, how's it going, guys? DeAndre Jones here. I want to give you guys 5 tips that will dramatically improve your parkour training. You'll be able to master the skills that you want to master and be able to work on your weaknesses and continually progress. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first tip I have for you is to train consistently and to train deliberately. And what I mean by that is, first of all, to train often. It's pretty easy. The more you train, the better you'll get. And so you want to train, as often as possible. Any day that you feel really good and you have a little bit of spare time, you're able to go out and work on your skills, work on your craft, and progress. What I mean by training deliberately is to work on your weak areas in your game. It's easy to go out and train and get distracted and kind of just do like all the movements that you usually do on a regular basis, but we should work on the movements that we don't work on a regular basis, the ones that we struggle with, our weak parts of our game. We need to work on those movements whenever we're training first before we work on other things. So one of my weak areas is taking off of my left leg. So I've been working on left leg takeoffs, making sure that they're accurate and powerful before I do anything else. And then afterwards I can have fun, train with my friends, kind of do the movements that I want to do, but I want to make sure I address my weak areas first. And finally, the last tip I have within this category is mental challenges. You want to work on one scary thing, one small obstacle. Maybe it's a precision that always gets to you or something like that, rail precisions, or maybe it's like some CAD leap or a new flip. You want to make sure that you're working on very small mental challenges that are going to push you a little bit, take you out of your comfort zone, so you can make sure that you're always working on something that's going to make you better in the long run. The next one I have is the warm-up and the cool-down. It sounds a little obvious, but a lot of people, they don't do it. I see it all the time. People come, they train, and then before they know it, they've already hurt themselves because they just went 100% as soon as they stepped in the gym or as soon as they got to the training spot outside. So we want to make sure we're warming up in order to avoid injuries. And when we avoid injuries, we're able to train often, because picking up an injury, as soon as you pick one up, you're out for like a week, maybe a month, depending on what you did. If you broke a bone, sprained an ankle, you could be out for a long time and you won't be training, you won't be progressing. So we definitely want to work on that. And then we want to work on the cool down. And what I like to do for my cool down, I like to take the 15 to maybe 30 minutes just to stretch and kind of just, breathe slowly and kind of just calm my body down and relax. And the reason why you want to do that is because whenever you work on your cool down, you're able to lengthen the amount of good days that you have to train. So if you ever woken up sore from training the day before, one thing to remember is that maybe if you would have properly did a cool down before you stopped training, the next day you would actually feel pretty good and feeling up to training again. So it allows you to have more training days like in a row. So basically it kind of goes back into what I said before with training consistently and training often. The next one that I want to talk about is repetition is key to mental confidence. A lot of people ask me, how do you get better at surpassing your fears in parkour? And the first thing I want to say is make sure that you're doing a lot of repetition work, because that whenever you're doing something scary and you do it often, eventually it'll become easy, you can perfect it, and then you can move on to the next one. It'll also strengthen, give you a strong mental habit in your mind on committing to obstacles no matter how difficult they are. The next one I want to talk about is record yourself to study your own movement. Now, we watch a lot of videos, we see people do really cool stuff, and we're like, hey, I want to try that too. But then later on we find out it doesn't quite look like that person, like the same way that person did it. And one thing that you can do to fix it is just to record yourself. Look at your technique. A lot of phones, they have like the slow-mo feature. Use that a lot. Study your movement alongside your favorite athletes, your favorite pros, and then you can perfect your technique and your body movements in the air, and you can make those movements cleaner. And also you can get a different perspective in third person. I'm going to add that as well. So you can kind of look at it from the outside, look at the way that you're doing certain techniques, and you can correct those and make them good. And then last but not least, I was going to say have fun, but I think a better way to phrase that is just to enjoy the process. So enjoy the process of failing. Parkour is a really difficult sport. You're going to take a lot of losses before you can win anything, like with getting any movement. So there's going to be a lot of days where you don't feel like you're not progressing or something like that, but you need to enjoy that process, embrace it, and really work on the grind, to perfect your craft and perfect, your techniques and your movements in parkour. And yeah, so that's basically the 5 tips that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Click the link below to get started with a crash course on parkour. It'll give you a little bit more advice, work on the basic movements in parkour, and go on as well to advanced movements. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, comment below what you want to see in the next tutorial. I believe the next one I'm going to do is a Webster tutorial, but after that I need some more ideas. So if you can comment below, let me know what you guys want to see in future videos. That would be awesome. Thank you guys, train hard, be safe, catch you in the next video. Peace.